Hi and welcome to this video on breathing exercises. I'm just going to run you through 5 exercises that you can do to check in with your breathing and also to improve your breathing. So we'll launch straight into it, and I'll get you to keep doing the exercises while I'm talking. So I'll explain it to you and then keep doing them until I explain the next one, so that you'll get some benefit out of the video, or you can pause the video and do them and then start the video again. And I'll also put some description in the or link in the descriptions for some things I'm talking about during the video. So the first one we're going to do is pop one finger against the side of your nose. So you're only going to breathe in through one side. So you're going to breathe in through that side. Make sure you close your mouth as you do that. Pull the air all the way in, nice and steady, and then you're also going to breathe out that way. If that's too difficult, you can also breathe out through your mouth. So you're going to just keep your finger against the side of your nose, and you stick to the same side for now. And keep breathing in and out through that. Now, the nose filters the air, so that's important, and the nose also warms or cools down the air depending on what you need it to do. So you're breathing in through the nose, and you're just checking with your left and your right side. So then we'll switch and do that to the other side. So you're just going to pop your finger against the nose and breathe through the other side. So as you're doing that, just see if there's a difference. You might want to switch back and forth if you're not sure. And you want, as I said, be able to breathe in obviously equally through both sides of your nose. Some people have a slightly funny septum, I was going to say, the bit in the middle of your nose, the parting, or the bit in the middle as it is, and that can sometimes be a bit more to the left or to the right. So sometimes it's more difficult to breathe. Some of us tend to get more clogged up on one side because we sleep on that side, or maybe we've damaged our nose, maybe we've got hit by a football or something. So there could be lots of reasons, broken it of course, so there could be reasons as to why we breathe better through one side or the other. So just have a check-in so you know what's going on there. And then that in itself is also an exercise, because you take in less air through one side of your nose than you do through both. So you have to work harder, you have to focus on your breathing differently. So you might have already noticed that you kind of nearly want more air. You're not getting in enough air. You're like, oh, can't get enough air in just through one side of my nose. So that in itself tells us that we're a little bit air hungry, and you know, we don't necessarily need to be like that, and then often that is because we breathe too much. So you can do with less breathing, if that makes sense. You can do with breathing better, which means you don't have to breathe as much. Say the same about other things in life, food for instance. So the next one we'll do is one hand on the bottom of the ribs, one hand on the top of the ribs. We would like the air to come into the top of the ribs, we would like the air to go down to the bottom of the ribs. So just check, where is the air going in? Do you feel a rise first here and then here? And then on the way out, you're breathing out from the bottom of the ribs, breathing out from the top of the ribs. So top of the ribs, bottom of the ribs, and then out, bottom of the ribs. So you get this like a wave coming in and going out. And breathing should be like a wave. Not a wave in the storm, but a wave on a nice day. So in, bottom, and out, and also obviously the middle of that. You don't necessarily need to check that one, so if you check top and bottom. So in at the top, in at the bottom, out at the bottom, out at the top, at your own pace. So if you're breathing faster or slower for now, that's okay. So we're just going to see what's going on with our own body. And you may notice that you do not want to breathe down here, down where your belt is, we'll say, down where the elastic of your trousers is. You do breathe into the top half of your stomach, but you don't breathe into the bottom half of your stomach. So you could put a hand there to check. So some people are belly breathers. Now the reason we want to breathe in to the top and the bottom is because that's where we have our lungs. And if we only breathe in the top, we're missing out some of our lungs. If we're only breathing in the bottom, we're missing out some of our lungs. You've got your diaphragm muscle here that does the breathing for you. Big sheet of a muscle that basically, if you think of it, it's like cellophane covering a bowl, and it basically goes through our whole body. And it connects into your back, it connects into your hips, it has so many connections. It interacts with your digestive system. So we need that diaphragm muscle to be working. So we'll check in with it. So if you put your hands around the side, if you find that difficult, you can use a TheraBand tied around, or like a scarf tied around your ribs here, and you want to breathe into the sides and into the front and into the back. Now you're lying on the mat at the back or the ground, so you can check that one just by breathing into the back, into the mat. And then you have your hands, you're feeling that expansion, so your body expands in all directions, 3-dimensional. And you're still breathing top and bottom of the lungs as well, so you're just adding all of this. You're still breathing in through the nose, both sides obviously at the moment. And you can breathe out through your nose or mouth. I'll leave that up to you for now. There isn't necessarily a benefit over one over the other. So breathing in ribs into the sides, front and back. And you might notice it feels much harder to breathe in here. If it feels really tight here, just going to let the knees sway side to side a couple of times and let it twist up into those ribs. And then once you've done that a couple of times, reach both arms up and then reach one, and again twist that into that same part. So if you feel really tight in your muscles in your back, it can be really difficult to breathe correctly. And then becomes the whole chicken and the egg, where your muscles tight first and then your breathing altered because of it, or did your breathing alter and that made your muscles tight? They interact, so we don't always know which. Now do that hands on the side of the ribs again. Inhale, fill up, fill up, fill up. Now you don't need to immediately breathe out. Keep the air there for a moment, and that's basically where we're going next. So we're just going to change the rate at which we breathe. The idea is that we breathe in for 5, we hold for 2, we breathe out for 7, we hold for 2. So you'll see my hands up in the air because I'm going to do it and then count you in and out of it and so on. So we're going to breathe in for 5, 3, 4, 5. We're going to hold for 1, 2. You're going to breathe out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold for 2. So try that once, and then if you need to, just breathe normal for a moment, because it might feel really funny to breathe in and hold and all that kind of stuff. Might not. So we're going to try it again. You're breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold. You're breathing out, and my counting and my fingers are working at a different rate, hold. And then you're breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hold, 2. Now you can repeat that over and over, so you can basically pause the video, do it later on. It's a nice one to do at the end of the day, so keep doing it if you can count while I'm talking. A nice one to do before you go to sleep. So if you're lying in bed, hands here, you can do all those things that we've just done, and then do this one, because it slows down your breathing. Most of us breathe faster than that. If you don't, great, or if you do, it tends to mean that your sympathetic nervous system is on, and your sympathetic nervous system is important because that's your stress system, and we need that when we're doing stuff throughout the day. We need to have that system switched on often, and then we need to switch that off at night so we can sleep. So our parasympathetic nervous system is what we then switch on at night, and that is our rest and relaxation, recuperation, whatever, all those good things that happen at night system. And you can't live on one or the other system only, which is why we have both. So it's like having a car that's electric and petrol. It does both, has different reasons for doing one over the other. So, and it's a bit like that kind of car I was talking about. Your petrol system is your stress. So if you need to go fast, you need to have the petrol. But if you need to be economic and you need to still get from point A to point B, or sleep or whatever, then you need to be in your parasympathetic nervous system. So you want to be able to switch that on, especially when you go to sleep. If you can't go to sleep, chances are you're still in the stress one. So try breathing like that. You're breathing in for 5, hold for 2, out for 7, and then hold for another 2, and then repeat and repeat. And you might find you're actually going, I'm not getting enough air here, or this is really funny, so you may have to stop, breathe as you normally do, and then start again. So do allow it to build up. Now the last one we're going to do is kind of the opposite. You're going to kind of stress your system a little bit. We're going to breathe in really kind of quickly. So I was talking about a wave earlier, but you're going to do that like a fast wave. Now you're talking about a storm. So you're going to kind of breathe in. I'll just give you an idea. You might want to think labor breathing for those who've gone through that, or like you're running up a hill breathing, whatever. And you're basically going to get lots of oxygen to your body. You may feel lightheaded. One of the reasons you do that when you run or you're in labor, you're obviously neither at the moment, but you want to get loads of oxygen in. And then after doing that, so if you want to start doing that, and you're going to do it for about 30 times, so I'm going to keep talking while you try to get about 30. If you end up doing more, that's fine. So in and out like this. And you can breathe in or out through your mouth, nose, whatever you want for this one. So you go if you want, but I find in through the nose works a bit better. Like that for about 30 times. You're going to, as I said, possibly feel lightheaded. Make sure you're lying down. At the end of that, you're going to stop. So whenever you feel you need to, you can stop. Hold your breath and essentially count, and you can count on your own hands if you want, how long you're holding your breath. Now, I'm going to say if you get to between 10 and 30 seconds, you're doing well. Most people don't get that far because we tend to not be aware of our breathing. We don't know what to do with it. And then if you get between sort of 30, 40, 50, 60 seconds, fantastic, and see how far you can push that out. Now, the idea with that is that you repeat that a few times. So I'll pop up a link. It's the Wim Hof method, that last one. I'll pop up a link. There's an app, and you can do this on an app, and it tells you and it counts it all out for you. It's quite clever, and you can do that if you wanted to. And there's all sorts of other stuff related to breathing there. So if you want to delve into breathing and what you can do with it, basically a little bit more, there's lots of different things out there. These were just the sort of introductory, basic. Try them out. If you think you need to do more with your breathing, if you want to do more with your breathing, then as I said, I'll pop up some links in the description, and you can message me with any questions as well. So give all of those a try, see how you feel. You might not want to do them all at the same time. You may want to stop the video and do them on a different day, or you may want to just throw them all in at once and see how your body feels after that, and then return back to normal breathing at the end. That's always important, is that whatever is normal for you you'll have to return to that. Hopefully over time you can improve, so your normal becomes better. But just return back to your breathing, whatever, at any point throughout the video if you need to. Just stop whatever you're doing and return back to normal breathing. And then maybe take a few more minutes if you can. And just become aware of your breathing. If nothing else, just spend a few minutes every day becoming aware of your breathing. This could be in the morning, in the evening, middle of the day, whenever you get a chance. Hands somewhere on your ribs, on your body, or even just arms relaxed beside you. Become aware of your breathing. It's one of those things we take for granted because we do it all the time. And in fairness, if you're still alive, you've been doing a pretty good job at it. But we could be better. Or if we find we struggle with stuff, we get anxious, breathing issues, we have asthmatic stuff, we snore at night, we just don't feel right, sometimes we get headaches, all those kind of things. You can always work on your breathing and see if any of those improve because of it, and they should. So if there is something going on with your breathing, you'll find that those things improve. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.